As I've told your Majesty 100 times, I see no reason why you should not become a father.
Am I capable of getting a son?
In my opinion, yes.
And why have I never got one?
The Empress has been infertile for some years now.
And the others? You've inspected them, too.
Mademoiselle Eleanor Denwell has a son.
But is it mine?
It resembles you.
I believe it's mine. It resembles me. When I have doubts, it resembles Murat. How can I tell? Why can't you tell?
Your Majesty, medical science is permanently in its infancy.
Eleanor's child may or may not be mine. But Madame Walewska is a pure woman.
Yes, sire.
I have known Madame Walewska for over a year now. She already had a child by her 70-year-old husband, but by me, nothing. Why not by me?
If I knew the answer to that, I would be greater than an emperor.
Fouché will tell you.
Fouché's your friend. Well, what do your spies tell you which Kathleen wants you to tell me?
There is a great and growing anxiety throughout France at the lack of a direct heir to the throne.
Do they suppose I am going to die?
There is always the possibility.
And for that, I must divorce, remarry, and get a son.
Sire, the people of France consider it to be your duty.
Why should you want me to have a son?
If you're killed in your next battle, who will succeed you? France will need a soldier.
Not a cavalryman. My dear sister, I am giving you a kingdom because you are my sister. Because Murat will please the Neapolitans who love opera. And because in Naples he will do no particular harm. Be content with your kingdom and leave my empire alone.
I only want what's best for you.
There are 1,000 different intrigues at this court, all with that as their justification. My dear Kathleen, I'm delighted to see you. You look at those reports. Fouché, I'm not going to ask the Empress for a divorce. It would be different if the Empress herself believed it to be her duty.
I understand, sire.
My dear Fouché, you always have something fascinating to tell me.
Your Majesty.
I hear the Polish woman has arrived in Paris.
Madame Walewska, yes.
Do sit down.
Most kind.
Where is she staying?
The Emperor has taken a house for her in Rue de la Victoire.
And how is her health?
She's in normal health.
I'm so glad. And?
Your Majesty, I have always been devoted to your interests.
Yes.
Which is why I have dared to write you a letter concerning your present position and that of the Emperor.
My present position is that of Empress. I can hardly hope for more.
And the Emperor.
He, too, can hardly hope to improve his position.
His present position. But he owes France a future.
An even greater empire?
A successor.
The Emperor has the question in mind.
As Minister of Police, I know what the public thinks. The public trembles, as I do, at the prospect of a new revolution. The public fears there will be one, when the Emperor's brothers and brothers-in-law and whoever else begin fighting for the throne.
The public trembles too easily. The Emperor will appoint a successor.
The appointment will have no force unless the successor is his son.
The Emperor has no son.
And will have none, Your Majesty, unless you yourself make it possible.
Monsieur Fouché, I am not the person who decides these things.
Your Majesty, your present position is great and glorious. I beg you to look at it from the point of view of the French people. Your subjects love you. Consider how much more they will love you. How much more secure the throne will be, and therefore your own future, which at this moment lies at the mercy of a stray cannonball or random musket shot. It is in your power to safeguard your future, to ensure that it will be rich and rewarding. If you choose to make the great sacrifice and allow the Emperor to have a son who will reign after him.
Are you the Emperor's messenger?
The Emperor would be gravely displeased if he even suspected.
Yes.
As minister responsible for the maintenance of public order, I have taken it upon myself.
Good day, Monsieur Fouché.
Your Majesty has been most kind.
Claire! Majesty. The Emperor has sent that man to tell me he wants to divorce me. What am I to do? Hortense. Hortense must come here straight away. The Emperor loves Hortense. He'll listen to her. And Talleyrand. I must speak to Talleyrand. He'll help me. He'll advise me. How can I allow the Emperor to have a son? Napoleon can't have a son. Everyone knows that. He can't.
Fouché, of course, creates the opinion, which he then reports as opinion. His agents go into a cafe, buy drinks for an ignorant peasant, trick him into agreeing the black is white, and behold, the public has spoken.
Should I reply to his letter?
Briefly and coldly. Fouché has the weakness of the middle class. He can be put in his place.
Yes.
You should show the letter and your reply to the Emperor on the assumption that he knows nothing of what has happened.
He must know, or Fouché would never have dared.
Your Majesty, if I may advise you, assume that he does not know, and therefore will be shocked.
He's in an unusually good mood tonight.
Then perhaps he does know. In which case you will have to pretend to be shocked.
I must apologize for always being so busy. I know I should spend more time with you.
I know that you want to, and that's enough. I'm very happy. It's peaceful. And I look forward to future peaceful years.
Yes, so do I.
Oh, Fouché came to see me today and ordered me to divorce you.
What?
Would you like to read his long letter and my brief reply? They're on the dressing table.
Fouché did what?
He instructed me to divorce you.
How dare he!
Darling, please don't encourage me, otherwise I shall be very angry too.
I have every right to be angry.
Oh, how can one be angry with a vulgarian like Fouché?
I must hope that Fouché didn't suggest that I
No,
myself
of course
had...
not. He made it quite clear he took it upon himself.
I shall make it clear to Monsieur Fouché what he may take and what he may not.
Will you give him my reply? If you agree with my reply,
Of course.
then I won't have to think about it any more. Good night. And don't be too hard on Fouché. He doesn't understand.
Josephine,
Yes?
he doesn't understand how much we love each other.
No.
And because we love each other so much, it might be necessary, politically necessary, not now, one day, for me to provide an heir to the throne. And because we love each other so much, you, of course, would naturally want to take the initiative. You would voluntarily step aside.
We were married in a town hall by an acting registrar with a wooden leg. Then we were married again by a cardinal, and then we were blessed by the Pope. Now, can I step aside from all that? And all those years of being married to General Bonaparte, First Consul Bonaparte, Emperor Napoleon? Perhaps if I didn't love you, but I do.
So you want what is best for me, politically?
If something is best for you, one day you'll order it to be done, and I shall obey, as I always do. But I shan't be able to tell lies about it. I shall want everyone to know I am the unhappiest woman in the world. That you have broken my heart.
I want this thing settled.
Sire, you are in the prime of life.
Talleyrand, if I had been killed in the Polish campaign, what would you have done?
Died of fright.
Exactly.
But not even you, sire, can make an instant marriage with someone of royal rank. And a divorce without the new bride standing ready would demean both the Empress and yourself. It would seem you were divorcing for the usual commonplace reasons.
Read me the list again.
I think we agreed to strike out the King of Saxony's daughter. She is 30 and excessively plain.
Out.
We are left with the two sisters of the Tsar, Katerina, aged 20, Anna, aged 14, and the daughter of the Emperor of Austria, Maria Louisa, aged 18.
Catherine.
Ah.
Talleyrand, I know by heart all your arguments against a Russian alliance.
If I may...
I have decided. Catherine.
That will take time.
The Tsar is my friend.
The Tsar's mother, who is equally, of course, the Grand Duchess Katerina's mother, considers you to be a plebeian, upstart Corsican monster.
As you do, Talleyrand, don't you?
Sire, I consider your beginnings are no longer important.
Catherine, arrange it.
I must ask you, are you willing to risk a rebuff?
There can be no question of a rebuff. I shall marry Catherine. Arrange it.
Mamma. Oh, dearest Mamma.
Oh, Thomas. Oh, I'm so glad you've come. But you've been crying.
Hortense, he wants to get rid of me.
Oh, Mamma, he's been saying that for 10 years now.
No, this time it's dangerous. He doesn't want to divorce me. He wants me to divorce him. Oh, don't you see how dangerous that is?
Well, divorce him, then you don't love him.
Yes, I do.
Oh, but you can't. All he's ever done is make you unhappy.
Unhappy. Very, very happy.
No one can be happy with a Bonaparte.
I am. I love him. And I mustn't lose him.
I suppose you want me to talk to him.
Oh, yes. Yes, he'll listen to you. Talk to him today, as soon as you can.
Where is he?
He's gone to see the Polish woman.
Mamma, are you spying on him again?
Why shouldn't I spy on him?
What are you looking at?
I used to live in this street once. Number 6, you can't quite see it.
On the other side?
Yes. It was Rue Chantereine in those days. I went off to Italy from number 6. When I came back, they'd renamed the street Rue de la Victoire, in honor of my victories.
Did you live at number 6 again?
Until I became ruler of France with a palace.
Were you happy at number 6?
Happy and unhappy, both to the point of insanity. Enraptured and tortured by my love for Josephine.
I can do neither of those things to you.
I love you as strongly.
Perhaps.
In a different way. I am going to divorce her.
You can't. You're married in the eyes of God, as I am.
What God?
Napoleon. We're both sinners and we know it. But you can no more divorce your wife than I can divorce my husband.
Hortense.
I was waiting for you to come back.
Constant, in a moment. When did you arrive?
This afternoon. My mother asked me to come.
Well, are you reconciled to that husband of yours yet? If not, why not?
Oh, if we are asking why and why not, why did you marry me to the least of your brothers?
Not the least.
Why did you marry me to Louis?
Your mother married you to him. She wanted to make sure of me by bringing you into my family, too.
And I'm separated from my husband. You were about to divorce your wife. So much for good intentions.
I must have a son. We are at the mercy of a blind fate. There was a son who could have been my son.
Whose son?
Yours.
Mine.
Your son had died. Louis's son, not mine, but people believed that it was mine. Common people believe the worst of great people. I have 2 reputations in the mouth of the world. Do you know what they are?
I know at least one of them.
One is that I'm impotent because I have failed to get a child. The other is that I have bedded my 3 sisters and you, and that your child that died was my child. Who am I to deny a rumor? Denials are never believed. If that child had lived, I would have had my agents encourage the rumor, confirm it, and the child would have reigned after me as Napoleon II.
And you would not have divorced my mother.
Fate. If your mother had had a child, a son, by me. Hortense, do you remember? Yes, you're old enough to remember the house in Rue Chantereine. There I loved your mother more than any woman has ever been loved. Loved her beyond my hope of heaven.
Are you ill? Shall I call the servants?
Josephine! Your mother! Tell your mother I need her!
I am doing my utmost for the Empress, but I must tell you, for your ears only, that the Emperor has finally made up his mind. I can delay the divorce for 6 months or a year, but I can no longer prevent it from happening. He has decided to renounce her.
My poor Josephine. I shall never leave you.
How are you feeling?
Better. Much better. Tired?
You didn't sleep.
What would I do with a young girl I don't know, who doesn't know me, who hasn't learned by experience what I need in a woman?
Who were you thinking of marrying?
No one.
I have suggested to the Tsar that he should seem to favor the notion of the Emperor marrying his sister, but that there should be some difficulties to be overcome so that Napoleon is kept hopefully waiting.
Will Napoleon enjoy waiting?
Hopefully waiting?
Are you against a Russian marriage?
I only wish Napoleon was asking for the hand of every princess in Europe. No one makes war where he hopes for marriage. At last we'll be at peace. Oh, do you know the Prince of Mecklenburg?
We haven't met.
I must introduce you. A great friend of the Tsar's mother. And even for a prince, quite remarkably stupid.
Then he may be useful.
Oh, yes. A meddler. I think we should encourage him to meddle. Forgive me if I overdo it. He has a passion for titles. Allow me, Your Honor. Prince, may I present General the Count of Caulaincourt, the Emperor's Master of the Horse, and new ambassador to the court of St. Petersburg?
Delighted. Your Highness.
Caulaincourt leaves for Russia tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Poor old Mecklenburg. He took it badly enough when I became a Grand Duke. He hasn't recovered from my becoming a king.
What's Talleyrand doing with him?
Oh, what harm can he do with Mecklenburg? Mecklenburg's an idiot.
Talleyrand uses idiots.
Talleyrand's playing a losing game. He wants peace and a balance of power. What good's a balance of power? The only way to keep the empire going is by beating everyone till there's no one left to beat.
Prince Talleyrand, if I could ask a confidential...
Caulaincourt, you'll forgive us.
Prince?
I came to Paris with a particular purpose in mind. To ascertain on behalf of a friend of mine, a very important friend. The question is delicate, extremely delicate. I know that I can rely on your discretion.
Absolutely.
To ascertain the truth about the Emperor's powers.
Military, political?
His powers as a man. There are rumours.
Indeed, there are.
Are they true or false?
In these matters, an opinion is hardly worth more than a rumor. There are two people in a position to know the truth or falseness. Dr. Corvisart, who is bound by the Hippocratic Oath, and, of course, would you care for me to arrange an interview with Her Majesty?
The question, Your Majesty, is delicate, extremely delicate.
I can help to answer your question, Prince.
I take it that Your Majesty is in the Emperor's confidence.
The Emperor and I have no secrets from each other.
I had assumed that, or I would not have dared.
No secrets at all.
Then Your Majesty is well aware of the negotiations for the Grand Duchess Katerina of Russia to become Your Majesty's successor.
Yes, I am very well aware.
I take it that in effect Your Majesty has approved the choice.
I think the choice would be an excellent one. From the Emperor's point of view.
Indeed, from his point of view.
Are the negotiations going well?
There are problems.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it.
A friend of mine, a friend in a very high position, the equal of yours, Your Majesty, who is necessarily deeply involved in this affair. I have agreed not to mention her name.
Your discretion does you credit, Prince.
Thank you. This friend has heard rumours.
There are always so many rumours.
One particular rumour that would be disturbing if it were true. That the Emperor, in one sense, in one very important sense, would not be likely to. The sense I refer to is the physical sense. Would not be likely to make a successful husband.
The rumour your friend has heard is that the Emperor is impotent.
Exactly.
Prince, you know, of course, that I was married before.
Indeed.
And that I have 2 children by my first husband.
Indeed.
Each of them born, you will understand what I mean, without any delay.
Yes.
When I married General Bonaparte, I was still very young and in perfect health.
I'm sure.
Naturally, I hoped that our union would be blessed, that I would have children, as easily as I had done before.
Naturally.
But nothing happened.
Nothing.
I was disappointed. Immediately. And I have gone on being disappointed. Has that answered your question, Prince?
Yes, Your Majesty.
I have never told this to anyone, and I must ask you never to repeat it.
I swear never to repeat it.
Except, of course, to your
Except,
friend.
of course.
I would never have told you, were it not that I think it better for the Grand Duchess Katerina to marry the Emperor, knowing what that marriage will bring, and what it will not bring, so that my own disappointment cannot happen again.
Your Majesty is most kind.
Perhaps I have put it too strongly. The Grand Duchess may be happy with the Emperor. He is capable, to a certain extent, of giving pleasure. It is simply that... How can I best express it? It is like water. If you would tell your friend...
Why are you in Paris?
I thought I should not confide the news to anyone else, sire, until I have told it to you myself.
What news?
The Tsar invited me to a private audience at his palace and informed me that he is about to announce the engagement of his sister, the Grand Duchess Katerina.
What?
To the Duke of Oldenburg.
This is a masterpiece of treachery.
Sire, the Tsar asked me to assure you that his brotherly love for you is undiminished.
Undiminished?!
Yes, sire.
Duke of Oldenburg is a fool! A petty princeling, a puppet, a nothing!
Yes, sire.
And Catherine is going to marry him?
That is what the Tsar told me, sire.
There is a traitor. Somewhere. Who is the traitor?
Sire, I do not know of any traitor.
I am delighted to hear the news.
He spoke of treachery.
My dear Caulaincourt, he is blinded by ambition and pride. If he persists in this blindness, it will lead to his downfall, and he will destroy what he has created.
He said there must be a traitor somewhere.
Treason is a matter of dates.
What do you mean?
Caulaincourt, we are loyal, but I suggest to you that there may come a moment in the history of a country and a regime when it becomes one's duty to the country to cease being loyal to the regime.
I called you here today to remind you of the obedience and the loyalty which you owe me. I took you all for nothing! Nothing! And I made you all what you are now, grand dignitaries of my empire, with titles, lands, and riches. A king, prince, duke. Titles bestowed by me for your services to me, and for no other reason, as there can be no other. All glory springs from me as a part of my glory which I can afford to bestow. All services must be rendered to me, since I am France. I am the French Empire. The Empire exists because of me and in my person. The Empire contains your princedoms and dominions. But I hear criticisms of my actions. I hear differences. I hear doubts. To doubt is the beginning of treason. And to differ from my policy is treason itself.
1,000 apologies, sire. Your messenger has only just found me.
Some of you have dared to act as if the succession to my imperial throne were already vacant. As if it were to be had by the highest bidder. As if it were a matter for secret politicking and private intrigue. I make it clear to you that none of you will be my successor. None of you will choose my successor. The choice will be made by me, and none of you will influence my choice. And you, Talleyrand, Prince of Benevento by my creation, do not presume to think otherwise. Oh, yes. You believe yourself to be a great man because you were noble before the revolution. Because I send you with messages to czars and kings and emperors who flatter you in the hope of flattering me, in the hope of your influencing me, in the hope of your betraying me! But I know you for what you are. A thief and a coward! An apostate bishop who never believed in God. You have never in your life served anyone faithfully. You do not know what loyalty is. You'd sell your own father for a piece of gold. You have been plotting to destroy my friendship with the Tsar of Russia. You have been plotting to drive me into the arms of the Emperor of Austria. I must suppose, because Austria has the bigger purse and can dangle the bigger bribe in front of your nose. Well, Prince Talleyrand, you have failed! I am going to war with your friend, the Emperor of Austria. And he will lick my boots, or I will kick him off his throne. I know you, Talleyrand. You would do anything to harm me. You hope to see me dead. And France small again, weak again. Why don't I have you hang from the railings here? What are you? An infamous heap of corruption. A lump of dung in silk stockings!
What a pity that such a great man should be so ill-bred.
Marie. Oh, my dear, my darling, my darling. Shh. No more kisses for the moment. Constance is here.
Madame?
Constant?
What have you done today?
Walked about Vienna.
You walk too much. You look tired.
No.
You have rings under your eyes.
I'm growing old.
All you ever grow is more beautiful. But you must see Corvisart. He must give you a tonic.
Dr. Corvisart comes to see me every
Yes, but
day.
does he give you a tonic?
Yes, because you told him to.
Well, some wine. That'll do you good. Constance, some wine.
Yes, sir.
And something to eat.
No, I'm not hungry.
Well, what have you eaten today?
Some things. Some fruit.
Only fruit?
Mostly.
That's not enough. You must eat fish, meat, bread.
Yes, but not yet. Later.
But drink your wine at least.
Yes, doctor.
Marie, I must prescribe for you. Constant will choose the smallest, tenderest delicacies, which not even you can resist.
Yes, sir.
And you will eat them to please me, if only to please me.
Madame?
Constant, will you please go into the house and don't come back until we call you?
Yes, madame.
Marie, you're not well. What does Corvisart say? You're ill. What does he say? Tell me.
I sent Constant away because I don't know if you'll be glad or sorry, happy or unhappy. I lied to you just now. I didn't walk today. Dr. Corvisart came to see me. And since then, I've simply been waiting here, wondering what you will feel when I tell you. Dr. Corvisart is quite certain. I'm pregnant. Are you glad?
My darling. Oh, my darling. My darling, my darling, my darling. Constant! Yes, sire! 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 Champagne!
Yes, sire.
I'm lost. The Polish woman is pregnant. I'm pregnant. We are married in the eyes of God. We were blessed by the Pope.
The church will do what I tell it to do.
You may order the church to blaspheme against God, but I am your wife.
A wife who cannot give her husband children is a blasphemy.
It was not my fault.
I now know for certain that it was. You have acted a comedy of pretenses.
A comedy? I have given you my life.
When we first met, you were 32, with a 14-year-old son, a 12-year-old daughter, and a history of more than one lover. You call that giving me your life?
I have loved you.
Don't you understand? I must divorce you for your sake as well as my own.
No.
You can go on being rich. And keep your title of Empress. I'll give you a kingdom if you like. Rome. Would you like Rome? I'll give it to you. Or live in Milan with Eugène and his wife, with your grandchildren. Or Malmaison. We could see each other sometimes. Choose.
I choose to stay married to you.
That choice is not open.
But you said you would not divorce me without my agreement.
All right, I'll give you a choice. A divorce with your agreement or without it.
Do you want to kill me?
Josephine? Constant!
Yes, sir?
Who's out there?
The Grand Marshal, sire.
Do you look? Fetchkova, sir, the Empress has fainted.
Sire?
Pick the Empress up. Constant! Hortense, come here quickly!
Duroc, don't hold me so tight. You're hurting me.
Be careful with her!
Sire.
Poor woman. I have broken her heart.
He must promise to make you king of Italy.
Mother, I've told him I want no promises.
The only thing that matters is you're being properly treated.
The Emperor is as anxious for this as we are. He still loves you, Mother. You must realize that.
He says you will always be his best-loved friend.
We'll go with you tomorrow and see you settled in Malmaison. And you'll be happy there.
But how shall I ever live through today?
Mother, you are an empress. You are still and always an empress.
Of course the Tsar will agree to marrying Anna. Why shouldn't he? You're the greatest man in the world. He's the second greatest. You can divide the world between you.
Yes.
Ah, this is a great day for France. And for you, sir.
Are all women the same to you, Murat?
I beg your pardon, sir.
This is the saddest day of my life. Members of the imperial family. You are all well aware of the decision that I have come to, and of the reason for that decision. My divorce from the Empress Josephine, which tonight we finally and formally agree, has been dictated solely by political necessity. By the necessity for me to provide an heir to my throne and to found a dynasty which will rule over the French Empire for centuries to come. God knows what this decision has cost my heart. But there is no sacrifice which I will not make when it is necessary for the welfare of my country. It is indeed a sacrifice for me. But I must, above all, praise the goodness and tenderness, the affection and understanding of my beloved wife. She has graced many years of my life. The memory of those years will always be engraved in my heart. I crowned her empress with my own hands. I desire that she shall keep the rank and title of crowned empress. But before everything else, that she shall never doubt my regard for her, and that she shall always look upon me as her best and dearest friend.
With the permission of my dear husband, I declare that since I no longer have any hope of bearing children, and since this alone could satisfy the demands of politics in the interests of France, it is my pleasure to give the greatest proof of love and devotion which has ever been given on earth.
Everything I have comes from his goodness. His hands crowned me. Seated beside him on the throne, I have had the happiness of being loved by the people of France. I now wish to acknowledge these great gifts by consenting to the dissolution of a marriage which can no longer serve France. Nothing can change the feelings of my heart. I shall continue to love the Emperor as I have always done. I know what pain this act has caused his heart as well as mine. But we both glory in the sacrifice we are making for our country.
Mama. Mama, we must go.
Napoleon hasn't come to say goodbye.
Oh, but we're only going to Malmaison. He'll come and visit you there. You'll see him again very soon.
I must wait for him to say goodbye.
Mama, the sooner you leave this place, the sooner your mind will be at peace.
He must come to say goodbye.
It will only make you more unhappy.
He might not be able to let me go.
You do understand you're no longer his wife. Mama, you do understand that.
I can't leave you. I can't go.
Tell me I mustn't leave you. Tell me I needn't go. Tell me you love me, please. Please tell me you love me.
I shall always be your friend.
Don't forget me.
The Archduchess Maria Louisa is, of course, a great niece of Marie Antoinette, so regrettably guillotined by the foolish leaders of the Revolution. Marriage to her would, in a sense, absolve France from its complicity in that crime.
Who cares about Marie Antoinette?
The other countries of Europe, sire, you are still to them the inheritor of the Revolution.
A Corsican upstart.
Oh, they have yet to grasp what we here know, that you have become the champion of monarchy and dictatorship. And by marrying into the Habsburgs, you would also be marrying into the Bourbons.
I like your argument. I don't like your conclusion.
My conclusion, sire, is a lasting peace in Europe.
Can I afford a peace?
I must hope so.
Fouché.
Sire, I agree with Talleyrand.
That is a novelty.
Given the choice between an Austrian and a Russian, I vote for the Austrian, for the reasons given.
Berthier, you've heard the civilians. What do you say?
Sire, sooner or later you will either have to fight the Russians or to marry them. I should prefer you to marry them.
May I speak with my usual frankness, sire? You will want to fight the Russians because there is not room for two great powers in your world. I advise you to seek allies for your next war.
Austria is not an ally. Austria is a nation that I have defeated.
Forgive me, sire. General Caulaincourt is here from St. Petersburg asking to be granted an audience with your majesty.
Tell him to join us immediately. Talleyrand, I offer to marry the Russian because it would suit me to marry the Russian. There is an advantage in making an alliance with one's next enemy.
You think Russia can be deceived on this point, sire?
Why not? Unless you're in the pay of St. Petersburg as well as Vienna.
Your Majesty.
Well, what does the Tsar say to me?
The Tsar will not give a clear answer, sire.
I'm the Emperor of France. I offer my hand in marriage to the Tsar's younger sister, Anna, who is of marriageable age.
The Tsar's mother says the girl is too young, sire.
And what does the Tsar say?
May I have your permission to speak to you in private, sire?
No. What does the Tsar say?
Do you wish me to tell you, sire, here and now?
I command you to tell me here and now.
The Tsar's mother has, I do not know how or why, gained the impression, sire, that you are incapable of fathering a child. She has told the Tsar this as a certain truth. The Tsar can hardly believe it to be true, but he pretends to believe. He says it would be a great disgrace to his family if it were in fact true, and if he, knowing it to be true, allowed you to marry his sister, the Grand Duchess Anna.
Have you told him that Marie Walewska is pregnant by me?
Yes, sir.
And what does he say to that?
His answer, in effect, sire...
His words! Tell me his words! His exact words!
He said to me, sire, but we all know that she is Polish. She may have had other men.
Inform the Emperor of Austria that I shall marry his daughter, the... whatever she is.
The Archduchess Maria Louisa.
Marie Louise